Hi everybody, this is Mike Monegan and welcome to Cyara Xchange. I head of product management and Nivedita Tripathi and I are going to be talking to you about the product updates. We've made many accomplishments that we're very proud of. We get the privilege of working with an amazing engineering team here at Cyara, and since our last Cyara Xchange in San Francisco, we've done a lot, and the general theme is to simplify the complexity of CX development. So I'd like to introduce to you the Cyara Assurance platform that's intended to bring great automation to the customer experience. The overall proposition here is one of helping you bring better customer experiences with less effort, less cost, and less risk. And we've got a lot of depth in our assurance platform that supports actually 3 different applications. They're Velocity, Cruncher, and Pulse. And we've been doing great things at the platform level that amplify the value of each of these 3. We've also been doing enhancements over the last year to each of these applications themselves. So just very quickly, Velocity is intended to speed up your entire team that's doing development and functional testing, and automation is part of delivery of great innovations in your customer experience. When you're going to go live, there's a load testing platform called Cruncher, and then finally we have a production monitoring system called Pulse, and we have an awesome mobile application that goes along with that. So these work together to deliver a continuous testing process, and one that we think is helping our customers deliver great value to their customers. I'd like to talk quickly about what I'm going to go over today. We're under this simplifying complexity theme. We've extended our investments in design-driven testing, and that allows us to build quality into the development right from the very beginning of the software lifecycle. We've enhanced significantly our capabilities around end-to-end testing, and that means we've extended the functionality of simulating agents. We do a lot of work to simulate customers as well as agents, so the customer experience and the agent experience is complete and comprehensively correct all the way through. I'm going to then introduce Nivedita, who's going to take you through how Cyara is now empowered with integrations and APIs that allow you to weave the Cyara platform into your overall delivery ecosystem for your customer experiences. And then I'll take it back over and close it out with some words about our enterprise security investments, to allowing you to have more control over who accesses what. And finally, the investments we've been making around ease of use to help people learn and become very, very productive as a CR guru. So we're hoping all of this has delivered a lot of value to you. We do a release every 10 weeks, and we're going to continue that pace of innovation to next year. And I'm going to be back tomorrow to talk about our investments that we expect to make in the coming year. But let's get into what we've done so far this year. First up is design-driven testing. And from the moment of design, you have a conception of what the customer experience is supposed to be. And we believe that quality should be oriented around your original whole concept of what the experience should be. So that means alignment of a bunch of different skills that are involved in the development and delivery of customer experience. And we want to bring everybody together and a shared definition of what is correct. So we have this notion of a customer experience model that we've been innovating on for the last couple of years. And they're getting very powerful, these CX models. And what we find is these CX models can work to bring everybody onto the same page. So whether it is the business side, the technology side of development, or the technology side that's running your customer experience, there's a number of skills here that we can offer someone new value in collaborating with the Cyara platform. Next up, we did a number of things in 2020. We've added the testing of branching business logic. That means that we can test a lot of complex different personalization and complex different systems that are doing data processing behind the experience. And branching business logic is increasingly complex, because what we're hearing from our customers is that IVRs and other applications are being more and more driven by data. So we added the ability to test each and every arm and to throw a bunch of different data scenarios at the customer experience to see how it reacts under varying data conditions. We then took that CX model, the editor that we use for that, and did a complete rewrite, and now it's much, much faster and much more responsive to your needs, and we think we've significantly up-leveled the user experience for folks using Velocity. We then added some scalability with modules so that you could break up those complex diagrams like I showed a minute ago into smaller bite-sized chunks that are more piece parts and serve a particular business function. So a CX model kind of works like drawing on a different tabs of a Visio diagram. There's off-screen connectors and that sort of thing. But what you're really editing is something that's a correct customer experience and something that can generate test cases for you. So modules are great for building up very, very complex testing and test cases that can otherwise be hard to edit. We'll just generate them for free. We've added Cyara tag support. Cyara tags are a very powerful, it's some of the most powerful stuff that Cyara has. You embed these Cyara tags within the test cases, so in the script where you're declaring what you expect to hear or expect to see, or where you're responding as a simulated customer. You can use a lot of different tags. And what we heard from customers is they wanted all the power that they had in the test case editor in the CX model editor. And so we've delivered that, and that just shipped last week, in fact, in the 20.3 release, 2020.3. Last but not least, we've done a lot of capabilities to enhance the power and essentially control almost every aspect of the test cases being generated. So again, we've given the CX model editor more and more control so that you don't ever have to leave it and don't have to walk into the CX test case editor. Next up, I want to talk about testing from customers to agents, because we need customer experiences, particularly with voice calls, where the right agent gets invoked at the right time in the conversation and given the right data about the customer that's calling. So we've done a much broader vendor support effort. Traditionally, Cyara would have supported simulating agents on Genesys, Cisco, and Avaya platforms that have been around for quite some time. These are legacy premise installed contact center infrastructure plays. But we've added a number of cloud-based, the cloud-based phenomenon of cloud-based contact centers is erupting. All our customers are saying it's a more or less a when, not an if, that they're going to be adopting these platforms. So we were fortunate enough to be able to add support for cloud platforms for Genesys, Amazon, and Twilio. So we're really excited about what some of these new platforms, Amazon Connect, Twilio, Genesys Cloud, they're very popular conversion platforms, and we've got a migration product called the Cyara Migration Accelerator to help you get from your current IVR to a cloud-based version of it. So we're very happy to report great progress in the last year with our Cyara virtual agents on these new platforms. Next up, I'm going to introduce Nivedita, who's going to take over and tell you about weaving Cyara into your ecosystem.
Thank you so much, Mike. Good morning, everyone. Let's talk about weaving Cyara data into your ecosystem. So more and more organizations these days are switching to Agile and safe methodologies for their software development. And the prime reason being there is emphasis on quality and ensuring the quality is baked into overall ecosystem. And that's why it's very important for Cyara to play its role through the APIs and integrations to enable customers to be successful. Cyara is part of a larger IT ecosystem, and so it's important for Cyara to support customers through different stages of software development lifecycle and enable customers to do agile transformation, DevOps adoption, and manage their CX operations efficiently. And for that, we have built integrations in various categories, as highlighted here, and we're also in the process of building more integrations. Speaking of the integrations available today, Cyara has a defect tracking integration into Jira from the perspective of velocity, which enables customers to do faster defect reporting with quality. Cyara also has some integrations from the perspective of Pulse, and we have IT ticketing integration into PagerDuty and ServiceNow, and we have IT monitoring integration into Splunk, and these Pulse integrations enable customers to do faster incident resolution. And that's not all. Cyara also has a rich set of APIs to enable you to have all the flexibility that you would require. Speaking of Cyara APIs, we have improved versions of API 3.0 coming just this release, 2020.3, and the Cyara APIs enable you to connect Cyara to broader technology ecosystem and automate more and more tasks. The new version of Cyara APIs 3.0 are more mature and more secure. They support token-based authentication, and speaking of maturity, one can make approximately 156 unique API calls using these APIs. And detailed example-based documentation on these APIs and integration is available on Developer Central, which is nothing but a portal similar to Knowledge Center with the focus on integrations and APIs. And since we have our latest version of APIs, we are calling the older versions end of life, and they'll all be going end of life end of this year. So let's now talk about leveraging these APIs and embedding Cyara Test Automation in the overall CI/CD process and baking quality into the overall ecosystem for customers. So during the continuous integration process, one can make a bunch of API calls and perform the acceptance test and ensure that quality is baked into every code check-in. Similarly, one can make a bunch of API calls during the continuous deployment process to perform the smoke or sanity and ensure every production change is stable. That's the kind of flexibility Cyara APIs provide you. And there's an interesting session coming soon after this session by Oracle on innovative ways of using Cyara APIs. So please stay tuned for that. So that was all about Cyara's existing integrations and APIs. Let's look at what's new in this Cyara integration area. Introducing to all the brand new Cyara Pulse app on Splunkbase, which is a turnkey provisioning for Cyara Splunk integration. It really enables you to quickly onboard the Splunk integration and provide you pre-packaged dashboards. So there's a session coming up tomorrow, Turn Your Contact Center Data into Action, and where we'll be demoing this brand new app. So please join us for more information on this app. Thank you so much. Over to you, Mike.
Thanks so much, Niv. This is a very exciting time when we get to feed the output of Cyara Pulse into these large log aggregation systems for exciting call center analytics applications. Let's move ahead to something that's really important to a lot of our customers, and increasingly so every year, and that is enterprise security. And even though Cyara is a CX assurance platform and most everything is test scripting and test data, there's still things in there that look a lot like real customer data, particularly when you're using Cyara Pulse for production monitoring system. So we've taken enterprise security to a whole nother level in the last year. Our ongoing investments have now included breaking apart the notion of what a Cyara user is. We still have a separate class of administrators. We've now broken Cyara users into different departments, and within each department to have business operations, development, and QA, individual roles within that based on a person's seniority and responsibilities. So what we've done is invested not only in differentiated access to Cyara assets, but we have online documentation that tells you exactly what each of these roles and capabilities allows you to do, so that, because you want to get the right control in the right hands for the right Cyara assets. And we'll continue to make investments in this area in the coming year, such as subdividing Cyara assets into different teams and working groups that don't necessarily have to access each other's stuff. So expect more and more protections for the data that you put into the Cyara platform. And last but not least, I think and another important investment area for us is ease of use. And we've extended our easy to use approach to easy to discover, because it's very important that because we have unlimited user licenses when you become a customer of Cyara, you want to be able to onboard new folks, let them learn as they go, learn as they do, and discover things, and ultimately become a Cyara guru by using the platform and using the embedded Cyara Assistant. So the Cyara Assistant is one that's an incredibly important asset for us. It's now living in the bottom right of every screen within the Cyara portal, and it's available to get contextualized help for where you are in your learning curve. So if you click on that thing, you get a browsable set of assets that you can get in there. You can submit support tickets and other things. But what's really cool is these videos, right? So we've got these little bite-sized videos that are incredibly well edited. Credit to our training team for producing these learn as you go sort of online tutorials, and it's a wonderful way to learn just a little bit more about a specific area related to the task you have, or to ratchet yourself up to from a beginner to an intermediate to an expert to a guru status CX assurance person. So we're really hoping that our investments will help users learn and grow and become awesome CX assurance professionals. Next up, we've made some more investments in easy to use, and this gets into helping people understand very, very quickly what we mean with our, particularly our failures. When we're calling a voice test result a failure, it's very important, for users to be able to triage and understand what has happened. And we've noticed that the person's eyes are usually much faster in absorbing information than ears. And we're working in the audio domain where we were noticing people spending a lot of time listening to either the full call recording or the results of a step recording that had to do with a particular step in the test case. And rather than listen to 7 seconds or 60 seconds, you can get at a glance now transcription results. So we're really happy to hear that, to see that we've gotten the transcription next to the expect to hear. And what that does is it puts the actual results right next to the expected results side by side, and you can understand at a glance kind of what might be different. In this case, there's just a few words off. The recognition confidence was low. The recognition confidence is a signal to look at the differences. And we hopefully have saved you seconds many times throughout the day as you address the failures in your ongoing testing. And this amplifies the value of velocity, pulse, and cruncher. Last but not least, I'm really happy to talk about some self-service access to Cruncher that we've launched just last week in the 2020.3 release. We're allowing you to take control now of the load test scheduling. We have an integrated load test calendar embedded in everybody who's purchased a Cruncher subscription from us, and that allows you to be guided through the process of scheduling and parameterizing a test. We require this because in the telephony world, there are a number of telephony carriers involved, and we do the largest tests in the world really in the telephony domain. We do these massive, not just tens of thousands, but much bigger load tests, and we're excited that we can automate the process of all the internal preparation and the external preparation in our telephony partners with this embedded Cyara Cruncher calendar. So this is an incredible investment. There's many more in the works, but I just want to summarize what we did in the last year, right? So we invested in design-driven testing. We're shifting left with the quality and embedding the test cases within the design. We are going end-to-end with all of the new contact center platforms that are popping up in the cloud. We're allowing you to weave Cyara assurance into your ecosystem, into every development and every deployment. We're allowing you to control who has access to which test data, which test scripts, and we're helping each and every one of your users learn and grow and become a productive Cyara user. And that is my update on the product for 2020. Thank you very much, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow to talk about what we have planned for the coming year. It's really exciting stuff. Thank you so much.